Live and on your side. This is KTBS 3 News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Cross.
And I'm Jerry May. We're glad that you're with us. And first at 5, the Shreveport City Council is holding its much anticipated final meeting of the year.
And among those present was a member whose attendance record has become an issue, Stephanie Lynch.
Lynch has missed nearly half of the council's regular meetings and more than 3/4 of its agenda work sessions this year. We've told you about that.
That's right. And our Sean Gables is at that council meeting. She joins us now live with the latest. Sean, what can you tell us?
Nicole and Jerry, we actually came to the last city council meeting in Shreveport of the year, hoping to accomplish two things. One, to see if Councilman Stephanie Lynch would show up, and second, to see if she would talk to us. Well, let's go to the video. One, she did show up. Two, she did talk to us. Three, I can't repeat exactly what she said. She hurled a profanity-laced tirade against us and then basically refused to shake my hand and walked off and made it clear to us that she felt that KTBS was liars, and she refused to answer any questions whether if she resided in Shreveport or if she was in fact could answer why she was not at those 4 dozen city council and agenda meetings that she missed back in 2016. There is some good news though. As I mentioned, she is here representing District F today, something she has not done repeatedly. We spoke to council member Michael Corbin. He says attendance is important and legislating regarding attendance for council members will be addressed possibly today.
There could be someone on the council who puts some legislation out there either at this meeting or at a future meeting that would address attendance issues, but that's just speculation at this time.
Now, again, we're in council chambers. It's packed with about 2 dozen constituents. We're unsure if any of them represent District F. We're going to stick around and see what questions they pose to City Council. But I do have with me live real quickly Jerry Bowman. He represents District G with Shreveport City Council. Councilman Lynch, she has repeatedly says it doesn't matter if she attends council meetings or not. She would not address if she lives in Shreveport. Have you guys addressed this at all? Does she live here?
Not to my knowledge, we have not addressed the address, the local address of Councilwoman Lynch.
Do you guys plan to do that today?
I don't. I have no idea. I think that someone will. I'm almost sure that someone will, but it's not up to us to legislate whether she. I hope she does, but it's not up to us to just go and investigate and find out if she is.
So, if she doesn't live here or if she doesn't attend city council members' meetings, that's not an issue for city council and you as a representative?
It is definitely, for me personally, it's an issue. If someone is not, I think it's important to attend meetings regularly. It's showing representation for the area that you cover, and I think as representation for the city as well.
Okay, well, there's a live city council meeting happening right now. We'll let you go back to council chambers. Again, that was Jerry Bowman Jr. He represents District G and Shreveport City Council. Again, as I mentioned, there's about 20 constituents in the council chambers right now. We're waiting to see what they'll say. We'll have a live report coming up at 6 o'clock. Back to you, Nicole and Jerry.
All right, Sean, thanks so much for that. And as she said, we're going to have more details tonight at 6.
And also at Shreveport City Council, concerns continue over next year's budget. That budget was approved at the last meeting, but one council member says that serious conversations are coming in the new year. Councilman Michael Corbin believes more cuts will need to be made with the state of the city's $1 million shortfall, starting with the big budget departments like police and fire.
People do get nervous when we talk about public safety, and that's why we really have to look at the big picture. There's been a lot of talk about we need to close some fire stations. Well, that may or may not be true, but what we have to look at is if we were to close or relocate a fire station, what does that do for response time? And if it's a negative impact on response time, then we really can't talk about that anymore. If there's little or no impact, then it may be something that we take to the next level.
And Corbett expects that conversation to continue at the meeting that's coming up January 10th. Longtime Caddo Parish Commissioner Ken Epperson is resigning. A certified letter sent to the Secretary of State says Epperson intends to resign effective December 31st. The letter did not give a reason why Epperson is stepping down, and he did not return phone calls for comment. Epperson has spent 21 years on the commission. His current term ends in January 2020, so commissioners will appoint an interim commissioner to represent Epperson's district until a special election is called next year to fill the remainder of this term. Epperson represents commissioned District 12, that's in far west Shreveport and west of the city to the Texas state line.
An update now on the Roebeling-Marthaville water woes. The water system that covers both towns shut down its water supply, leaving some without running water for almost a week. But we're happy to report that toilets are flushing once again. KTBS 3 Sierra Pizarro joins us in the studio now with the latest. What can you tell us, Sierra?
That's right, Nicole. Definitely good news. Homes do have running water, but before all this, they had some big problems. Imagine not being able to shower or clean your clothes, but things got back to normal in time for the holidays. You could call it a Christmas miracle. Everyone very relieved since the Delta Regional Authority contributed over $20,000 in emergency funding. The DRA is a federal-state partnership created by Congress to help communities with economic development across 8 states. The money they gave Roebeling helps 400+ residents on the water system to get good drinking water. The cause of the water problem to start with was the 30-year-old water tank, which also had several holes. It has now been replaced with a new pressure pump.
It's hard for these rural communities, so anytime that we can help when it makes sense and we're able to respond in real time like this is what we love doing.
Now toilets can be flushed and kids can go back to school, but it doesn't stop here, Nicole. The president of the water system says they'll be looking at ways to make the water system better.
All right, thanks so much for that report, Sierra. And with the new year, hopefully comes a fresh start for water in Roebeling and Marthaville. Water quality officials say they'll meet again next week to discuss ways to prevent any more failures in the future.
All right, let's check the crime beat now. In Shreveport, police nabbed a pair of armed robbers and what sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood action flick. All went down this morning at the Family Dollar at Wallace and West 70th. Police on the scene said a security company remotely kept its eye on the suspects and the 2 other people who were inside while officers surrounded the place. And then as police approached, they say the bad guys ran out the back door with their guns. Both suspects were quickly arrested.
Meanwhile, Shreveport's Calumet refinery slapped with a $7,000 fine following the death of one of their employees. George Robert Hughes died after he was crushed between a life basket and a pipe rack. Now that's according to the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration. The administration cited Calumet for violation of a law that requires employers to provide a place of employment free of hazards likely to cause death or serious harm. Calumet cited twice in the past for serious workplace violations. In 2007, there were 7 violations and 1 repeat violation. In 2010, they paid a $119,000 fine. Then a year later, a $17,000 fine. Both were for serious violations. Calumet did not disclose details of what caused Hughes' death.
Leaders are weighing their options over the future of the Miller County Courthouse. That building is nearly 80 years old. KTBS 3's Julie Parr joins us live from the courthouse, and Julie, officials are considering whether to renovate that old place or build a new one.
That's right. They're weighing their options, Jerry. Roy John McNatt will officially be sworn into office on January 1st as county judge. Now, he says the aging courthouse has been an issue as far back as when he was county judge 6 years ago in the same office. Now, the building was built in 1939. The current county judge, Larry Burgess, says there's no pressing issues with the historic building, but the exterior is a concern and work is needed to keep it well preserved. Now, there are about 200 employees in Miller County. McNatt says he would like to give them an across-the-board 5% raise.
They were to say, well, the only way they can get a raise is not to ever build a courthouse, you know. Well, I would be for the raises.
Now, McNatt says he would like to see a committee formed to look at their options. He'd like to know how the public feels about this issue, as well as what the financial future needs are for the courthouse.
Okay, Julie, thanks a lot. Now, Burgess's term ends on Saturday. He does not think the county needs a new courthouse, but he told us an annex near the jail would help with space and could be built without raising taxes.
Well, as 2016 comes to a close, another iconic star passes away.
That's right. News of Carrie Fisher's death broke just a few hours ago. This comes after Fisher, who is known to millions as Princess Leia in Star Wars, suffered a heart attack just last week on a plane. We'll have more coming up.
Plus, Japan's Prime Minister continues to make history today during his trip to Hawaii. Details straight ahead. Stay with us.
And first, we're going to check in with meteorologist Joe Haynes on your storm team forecast. Really cooled off today,
yes,
but it might be back on the way up very soon. Joe has all the details for you coming up.
An instant facelift. Look years younger overnight. Just some of the beauty claims that may capture your attention, but not live up to the hype.
Whatever's going to, promise me something amazing.
Dr. Nicole Cross helps you separate fact from fiction. Tonight at 6.
Bancorp South Bank, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Barksdale Federal Credit Union, and Eldorado Resort Casino Shreveport thank the men and women who serve our country.
Hello, my name is Roberta Murguia, Petty Officer First Class out of Levine, Arizona. I would like to say Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to my mom and dad, Michael and Doris Johanning, and my two lovely daughters, Sade and Alana. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Now with Mega 3 and your Storm Team forecast, here's meteorologist Joe Haynes in the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab.
All right, folks, good afternoon. I hope everything's going all right with you and your holiday's been great, and hope it continues that way. Well, it's starting to get dark outside. Daylight hours still short, even though they're getting a little bit longer as we head into, well, spring, which is still another few months away. Today was pretty warm out there. A lot cooler than yesterday, but still warm. 72 was the high this afternoon after a low of 57. 36 to 57 is considered an average day for us, so another really warm one for us. But yesterday it was 83. We set a record, a couple of records yesterday, afternoon temperature and a morning low that were incredibly warm. 21 100ths of an inch of precipitation at the National Weather Service here from overnight rains. For the month, we're still behind, but doing pretty good. And for the year, we're still way up, and that's how we're going to end up as a very wet 2016. Weather Watch reports, Ann Forbes, Center, Texas, just called a little while ago, had a low of 58 and a high of 70, but only a little less than 1/10 of an inch precipitation overnight. Current temperatures, well, 63 in Shreveport, 72 down in Hemp Hill, upper 60s in Mount Pleasant, and you got the 50s, cool spots up there in DeQueen and Idabel. The clouds, well, they're starting to roll back in, and the general trend will be for some fog and some patchy drizzle for tonight, and the low clouds thickening up as a warm front moves on by, but very limited chance that we'll have significant rain like we saw over the past 24 hours with those thunderstorms last night. Not anticipating that weather scenario this go around. A slight chance that we'll have some rain as we make it through tomorrow. And the weather feature that's going on here that could give us this rain is this warm front, the tail end of the last cold front moving on through. A little bit of patchy drizzle and some fog overnight, low clouds, and then some showers or isolated thunderstorms with that boundary as it moves on through northern sections. And then just a very muggy atmosphere tomorrow afternoon until the next cold front rolls in. That'll be for tomorrow night, and that'll change things once again. And as for rain amounts, less than 1/10 of an inch, so nothing terribly heavy as we go through the next 24 to say 48 hours. Different story though as we get into the weekend. All right, here's that forecast. So we're in the 50s overnight with some fog and drizzle and a couple of sprinkles here and there. 75 the high tomorrow, so it's back to summertime. And then we're in the upper 40s to the upper 50s on Thursday. North winds at 20 and gusty, so blustery there on Thursday. Friday, clouds increase, and just a wet Saturday. High temperature about 56. New Year's Day, though, looking pretty good, up near 60 degrees with just cloudy skies. And then we're off to the races once again. We're warming up next week, close to 70 Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah, it's
back on
warm.
That roller coaster.
Right,
yeah.
we are back on it.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Okay.
Violence erupts at shopping malls across the country right after Christmas.
Yeah, and dozens arrested as a result of the chaos. Next, why police say social media may have played a role.
After a military jet went down in the Black Sea, officials make a discovery related to that jet. We'll have more straight ahead.
For the latest in news, weather, and events, follow KTBS on Facebook. Now, KTBS 3 News continues.
Is social media behind the brawls at the malls all across the country? Well, that is the question police are trying to answer after chaos broke out in malls from coast to coast, at least 15 of them, many of them packed with post-holiday shoppers. ABC's Elizabeth Herr reports.
Shoppers scrambling for cover, shocked and scared.
Every 5 seconds, we just heard running and then boom, boom, boom.
From New Jersey to Illinois,
kids hitting each other, kids trampling each other, so it was just madness.
Ohio, Connecticut, North Carolina, Colorado, and Indiana.
Store associates, like, everybody get back, and they're like putting the door down.
Chaos and commotion inside more than a dozen malls, most caught on cell phone cameras. Had police rushing in as panicked shoppers rushed to get out. Police now revealing a loud noise during a food court fight in New Jersey was mistaken for gunfire. In Tennessee, fireworks igniting inside a store started a brawl. And police in Aurora, Colorado say the fights there were organized on social media.
There was something that was going around on social media about a fight that was going to take place here at the town center of Aurora, which is what drew all of these people who were up to no good to our mall.
This morning, police in other cities say their investigation is continuing to see if social media is to blame.
And dozens were arrested all across the country, most for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Thankfully, though, no serious injuries.
More news across the nation. Text messages sent by Aaron Hernandez are the focus of a murder trial dispute. A hearing was held at the Suffolk County Superior Court in Massachusetts today. The former New England's Patriot star is accused of fatally shooting 2 men in a 2012 drive-by shooting. The man who Hernandez exchanged those text messages with, Alexander Bradley, is a key prosecution witness. Bradley claims he was with Hernandez at the time of the shooting. The trial is set to begin February 13th. Meanwhile, the news broke just hours ago that iconic Star Wars actress Carrie Fisher has passed away. You'll recall she suffered a heart attack last week as she was flying from London to Los Angeles. Fisher was born into the spotlight as the daughter of one of Hollywood's golden couples. She rose to fame in her own right as a blockbuster princess and a witty writer. Fisher was 60 years old.
As the first Japanese leader to formally visit Pearl Harbor, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe offered sincere and everlasting condolences to U.S. service members who died when his country attacked and plunged America into World War II. Abe is joined by President Obama at the USS Arizona Memorial, as you see there. Now, Abe did not apologize for the attack itself, but he did say, quote, "We must never repeat the horrors of war again." President Obama says Abe's visit is a historic gesture that shows the power of reconciliation.
Russia has recovered one of the black boxes from its military jet that crashed in the Black Sea. The flight data recorder was found about a mile from the shore and 55 feet under the surface. But the plane's other black box, the cockpit voice recorder, is still missing. The jet, with 92 people on board, went down Sunday. Officials fear there are no survivors. Well, New Year's Day is fast approaching.
Yeah, maybe you've already decided what your New Year's resolution is going to be, but the question is, will we stick to them? Well, stay with us for Health Watch 3 to find out how you can do that.
And gas taxes are going up in 7 states in 2017. Is Louisiana one of them? Stay with us for the answer.
Download the KTBS 3 mobile app to watch stories and catch up on the latest news. Now, with the latest developments in the world of medicine, this is Health Watch 3.
Well, the holidays are winding down and the pressure to come up with those New Year's resolutions is kicking up. So how do you make those good intentions for the new year stick? Here's Dr. Timothy Johnson with some suggestions.
The Christmas feast is now leftovers, and the stress of Christmas shopping is gone, which for many of us means it's time to draft those New Year's resolutions. But what can we do to make our diet and exercise resolutions stick? It may be easier than you think, and the American Psychological Association offers tips that can help. First, make sure to make your resolution small and simple enough to be achievable. Setting the bar too high is a recipe for failure, particularly in the post-holiday slump. So instead of pledging to hit the gym every day, aim for 3 days a week. Next, try to change one specific behavior instead of planning a lifestyle overhaul. This may mean something as simple as cutting out one thing like soda, rather than punishing yourself with an overly restrictive diet. And last, don't beat yourself up if you slip along the way. Resolutions are not about being perfect, it's about making improvements on last year and getting back on track if you stumble.
For more tips, check out www.apa.org. And Jerry, here's to making next year the healthiest one yet.
Let's do it.
Let's
All right.
do it.
Thanks a lot, Nicole.
Sure.
All right, economic news now, and gas tax changes in several states as the new year is set to begin. 7 states will see increases. They are Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nebraska, Georgia, North Carolina, Indiana, and Florida. They will all see higher gas taxes, so none in our area, not yet anyway. New York and West Virginia will have slight reductions based on automatic adjustments. The hikes reflect state efforts to balance budgets and road construction and maintenance. Amazon says it has shipped more than 1 billion items around the world through its Prime loyalty program this holiday season. That number includes orders shipped by third-party merchants but fulfilled by Amazon. Amazon also said more people tried Prime than during any previous holiday season. Joe's back with another check on weather after this.
Win big by registering monthly for contests at ktbs.com.
Okay, here's our forecast. A far cry from what we had just a year ago this time. We had a tornado outbreak there in the 26th. We had flooding. We had all kinds of mess. Pretty benign for this time around. Nice to see. Although very warm. 75 the expected high on your Wednesday, slight chance of rain. And then it's a little bit blustery there for Thursday with a high of 59. Then we're at 60 on Friday. So, those are close to average high temperatures. And then a soggy Saturday to finish out 2016. And then we'll start the new year on just an average note.
Okay, then. Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
All right, meet us at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.